Hi guys, welcome back to another week of my podcast. This week's podcast is being made with a very heavy heart. At the moment, it is the 30th of May, 2020, 11:53 p.m. And so much is going on in the world right now. So much. But as you guys can guess from the title, you guys know what I'm here to talk about. I just want to start this podcast by reading you guys out a few things that have happened from April of this year. In Santa Rosa, California, a black man had a dog released on him, which resulted in severe injuries for no reason whatsoever. He was not seen to be resisting or doing anything wrong, and this was all caught on video camera. In states all across America, police have been filmed purposefully coughing on people claiming that they have COVID-19. Both the UK and the USA have seen the excessive force on black men, claiming that they're not following social distancing. Videos have surfaced showing NYPD terrorizing and using physical force on a little boy who was selling candy in the street. Steve Taylor, a guy who was suffering from mental issues, a black man who was suffering from mental issues, who walked into Walmart with a bat in his hand, not a gun or a knife, posed no significant threat. Had the police come in, taser him, shot him once, shot him twice, he fell to the ground, shot him a third time, only for the police officer to step forward, come face to face with his body, and shoot him one more time. Okay. Officer Brian Flau of Rancho Cordova PD in California, who beat a 14-year-old black boy because he thought he had a cigarette. Sean Reed, killed by the police on Facebook Live, ex-military, fought for his country, was suffering from severe PTSD and depression, was shot mercilessly in the middle of the street multiple times, only to hear the officers laugh at the end of the video and say it looks like it's gonna be a closed casket for you, homie. Breonna Taylor, a woman who was seen as a model citizen. An illegal, unannounced drug raid occurred at her apartment complex where 22 shots were fired in the wrong house. The person who they were looking for had already been arrested. Statements were then later released that the police had suspected that suspicious packages were being taken into the house. This was later proved to be fake. Police had also shot one of their own and blamed it on her boyfriend, who was later arrested and now released. A mother with a baby in her hand was subjected to brutality in a subway in New York because she was not wearing a mask. Belly Majinga, a lady from the UK who was subjected to the cruelty of a 57-year-old man who spat on her knowing that he had COVID-19. According to police reports, there is no significant evidence to prove that this man was the direct cause of her death. Weeks later, after this man had spat on her, Beijing passed away and left an 11-year-old beautiful angel who's not going to have a mother for the rest of her life. Ahmaud Arbery, a guy who was killed. He was hunted and killed by Travis and Gregory McMichael and William Bryan for going on a jog. Travis and Gregory McMichael being free for 2 months after this being done. Video evidence being hid by the police, only to be released by someone unknown. 2 months where these people live their life, were free to do whatever they went to bed in peace, while the mother of Ahmaud Arbery had to mourn the death of her son with no justice served. And George Floyd, a man who was killed like a dog in the middle of the street by a cop who rested his knee on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes while he begged for his life. Today, as I speak, marks the 2nd anniversary since his mother's death. George Floyd did not even stay alive to witness the 2nd anniversary of his mother's death, as he called for his mum while he was being suffocated and strangled by that man. Reports today report that the knee on the neck was not the cause of death, when paramedic reports claimed that when they arrived on the scene, they were dealing with a pulseless and lifeless body. So I will leave that for you guys to ingest and take from that what you want. Amy Cooper, Central Park lady, who called the police on a black man because he asked her if she could please put a leash on her dog. And what was he doing? He was bird watching. A woman who so cleverly used her white privilege and had the audacity to call the police right in front of him and act like she was the victim. With this case specifically, people ask why the outrage. I'll tell you why the outrage. 1955. Emmett Till. Carolyn Bryant Dunham lied and claimed Emmett had been inappropriate and whistled at her. This led to Emmett being kidnapped and being brutally tortured and murdered. 52 years later, she confessed that she lied. She confessed, and she's still living her life. That victim ideology, that being able to play the victim, the way Amy Cooper changed her voice when she called the police, acting as though she was in distress, that is why people are angry. And to make it even worse, the ignorance of people my age and even younger, The ignorance of the likes of Annalise and Piper, Jack and Adam in the UK, who are mocking the death of George Floyd, posting videos with knees on their friend's neck, writing police brutality. If this doesn't show you what's wrong in the world, then I do not know what will. This podcast is not about us and them. It's about being human. It took me 10 minutes to tell you guys every incident that has happened from May 2020 to the end of April 2020. That is disgusting. That is 10 minutes too long. There's so much conversation, and I'm pretty sure there's people who can explain it to me even better than me about racism and the unfairness of all of these actions. But for me, the thing that I want to get across the most, and the only message I have for this video, number one, my first aim with this video is to make you aware of everyone who's had to suffer, and that I've done already. Now my second bit, letting you guys know, or letting you just take in what it means to be human. Where has our sense of humanity gone? Where has our heart gone? Where has our love gone? We claim ourselves to be these intellectual people, these intellectual beings. We're the best of the best, right? We've developed all this technology in the world. We can do things in the palm of our hand. We have smartphones, we have iPads, we have technologies, we send stuff into space, but still some people cannot grasp the idea that you cannot kill someone by the color of their skin. You cannot judge someone by the color of their skin. You cannot subject someone to a certain type of standard or a certain type of brutality because of the color of their skin. This was not right in the 1900s and 1800s and every year before that, and it will never be right, and it's still not right. Slavery happened, and that was something that occurred, but it does not make you right now. It wasn't right then. But it's this idea of preservation of human life. What gives you the right to say that I am going to take this gun out of its holder and I am going to take this person's life? I am going to put my neck on this person's life and listen to his cries in front of all these people, and I am not going to care, and I'm going to do so until I take his life. I am going to take this man's life, and I'm going to laugh at the state of which I've put him in which his family will not even be able to have a closed casket for him, an open casket for him at his own funeral. This is the world that we are living in. If you think that this is okay, then that is on yourself. On social media, I've seen a lot of, oh, why are we talking about this? We're from the UK anyway. If you don't have the nerve to speak on something like this, then it's a low-key shame on you. Shame on you for not even. It's so easy these days, even if it's just posting a picture. That's all it takes. But that level of solidarity is showing that, you know what, before anything else, I'm here for you guys as humans. I'm here for you guys as my people, as people of the earth. Even if it's not as my black people, as my family, as my brothers, as my sisters, I'm here for you as a human being. I feel your pain. This level of ignorance that we like to put between ourselves and things, oh, but it's not my issue. And then when it suddenly becomes your issue and you have to feel that pain, you're going to regret. It's not every day that everyone has to come up with a full paragraph. No one's asking you to make a full video about it. It's not about that. But showing little signs of solidarity, that's all that matters. And if you're someone who has come across this video and you are listening to this and you're someone who thinks that these acts are okay, then your own is your own. I'm not one to tolerate ignorance. I'm not one to tolerate people who hold that sense of mentality. I have never tolerated it, and I will never tolerate it, and I will not argue or speak for such people at all. What is happening in our world right now is disgusting. And I will continue to use that word, disgusting. When you see the people that are rioting right now, you know what that is? That is hurt. That is hurt because they're not just fighting for George Floyd. They are fighting for everyone else. They are fighting for Breonna Taylor. They are fighting for Sean. They are fighting for Ahmaud Arbery. They are fighting for all of these people. They are fighting for Emmett Till. The pain it was supposed to be moments of healing. Forget even healing. These are stuff that are not even supposed to be happening anymore. But still, it's something that we have to go through, something that we have to experience, something that we have to endure. And it's disgusting. As humans, if we cannot see ourselves in someone else, no matter the color, then you've got to realize that there is some level of problem within you, and you need to sort that out within yourself. If it's that you do not know and you've been raised a certain way, then go out to your community and ask. We are interconnected. You can easily go on the internet, ask, read, watch, look, message, DM, do whatever. But in my opinion, we have no excuse to be living in a world of ignorance. Living in a world of ignorance right now is you choosing to be ignorant. We have too much level of inconnectivity for us to be claiming ignorance. I didn't know. Oh, but why? Oh, but why? Okay, go Google. Ask someone. Comment on the Instagram page since you're so active. Write it in your Twitter feed since you're so active. It's as easy as that. Those that claim ignorance, it doesn't work anymore. It does not work anymore. If you keep on claiming ignorance, you see all these social influencers writing statements like this Love Island guy only to come and claim ignorance after, oh, sorry, my ignorance. No. Clearly you're on your feed and you're making comments. You're brave enough to make those comments. So if you can do that, I'm pretty sure you have a time or two to maybe ask a question on your feed, or Google, or even try to see someone else's perspective, because it's really not that hard. As humans, that's what we should be able to do. Put ourselves in another person's shoes. It doesn't mean that you might necessarily agree with them, but you know what? You're still able to do it. You are still able to do it. But this idea of ignorance is just one that completely irks me. And when people claim ignorance, especially in times like this, when people are fighting for greater good, you know what? Forget, yes, people are looting. It's just so much mixture in that. You have people who are not actually fighting for the cause, people who are instigating, people who are just out for the sake of being out. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. A fight is never ever going to be perfect. Everything you see is not always going to be the truth. So you know what? We just move on with it. But for those who are fighting for the truth, they know what they're fighting for. And nothing will stop them, and nothing should stop them, because they have the right to fight. They're not fighting for anything wrong. They're fighting for social justice. They're fighting for racial justice. They're fighting for racial equality. In 2020, Black people and people of color are still fighting for racial equality. Put that in your head. How sad is that? A community in which we claim we are so superior, that we've achieved so much, that we recreate so much, we make human robots, and still you can't differentiate someone, or you can't sympathize with someone, or you can't love someone because of the color of their skin. So I don't say nothing else except shame on us. Shame on us. Shame on society. Shame on institutional racism. Shame on the foundation in which our societies were built on. To be honest, I can talk to you guys all day and pour my heart out, but I feel peace in my heart knowing that I've got my message out for this week. I couldn't possibly do anything more than what I have done today. This is necessary. If you can speak out, speak out. Even if it's in a post, even if it's writing one word, you don't have to be Black. This is not about being Black or white. This is about us coming together as people. That is all this is about. I love you all. I pray for you all. I pray we all stay safe. Keep safe in body and mind. Don't let your mental health get bad because of situations like this. Know that you are great, you are worthy. Don't let someone else's likeness have to validate your worth in this society. You are worth it whether someone says it or not. You are worth it. No one has to validate it for you. And I'm not only talking to Black people, I'm talking to every person of color, every white person, any person that goes through any racial injustice. You are worth it. Because as humans, we have no right to put each other down. We have no right to take our others' emotions into our own hands and choose whether to crush them or whether to lift it up. No. And don't give anybody that power. Do not. But that is all from me this week. Again, I say, keep safe. I love you all. We are strong. We are strong people. And until next week, guys, that is all.